The cameras flashed. The headlines were written. For decades, they were Hollywood's inseparable sisters.
But a single, tearful confession changed everything.
And just like that, the world was obsessed with one question. Were Tia and Tamera Mowry at war? Welcome, StarScope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
So today we have a really fascinating one. For almost 2 years, the public narrative was that the Mowry twins had a massive, massive rift.
Right, and it all seems so convincing. The headlines were brutal, but then in late 2025, we got the truth.
And it came in the form of something they called the Secret Sunday Pact.
So that's our mission for you today. We're going to unpack this whole thing. We've got the reality show clips, the interviews, all of it.
And we're going to separate the, media-driven drama from what was really going on, the very normal, very real evolution of an adult twin relationship.
Let's start at the beginning, because this whole rumor didn't just start it really exploded.
It absolutely did, September 2024. The source was a teaser clip from Tia Mowry's new reality show, Tia Mowry, My Next Act.
And the context is so important here. This show was all about her life right after her divorce in 2023.
Exactly. She was in a really vulnerable place, navigating being a single mom, her career, just being alone for the first time in a long time.
And then came the moment. The spark. It was a clip of Tia in tears.
Yeah, and she says she wishes she and Tamera were still close.
And that she could just, quote, pick up the phone and call her. That single line.
That was it. That's what started 2 years of intense speculation.
And I mean, the media just ran with it. Social media, everyone, the immediate interpretation was...
Estrangement.
Yeah.
A massive falling out. They completely ignored what she was actually talking about, which was the loneliness of a divorce.
She was grieving the accessibility she used to have, not her sister.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
But the public has this idea of them as a single unit. So any hint of separation is seen as, a betrayal, a fight.
And then, to make things even more complicated, Tamera comes out and says something that just adds fuel to the fire.
Oh, this is a huge twist. She admitted she found out with the rest of the world about Tia's reality show.
She wasn't even asked to be on it.
Which, to the public, was just undeniable proof. The smoking gun.
The narrative became, of course they're fighting. Tia didn't even tell us she had a show.
But wait, the story behind Tamera not knowing about the show? It actually leads us closer to the truth about their bond, not further away. And that's not even the wildest part.
Right. Because if your sister, your twin sister, finds out about your reality show from the media, isn't that a pretty big deal?
It raises a valid point, for sure. It points to a communication gap, at least at that moment.
But Tia's explanation later was that, well, they're adults. They have separate careers.
She framed it as a boundary. Siblings don't have to report every single professional move to each other.
Which is true. But the public wasn't ready to see them as separate entities yet.
And that's the key. The real story isn't about why Tamera wasn't told. It's about how that kind of professional distance had become their new normal.
Okay, so let's get into that, this whole idea of distance. Because in December 2025, Tia gave this really strategic clarification.
She did. She basically came out and said the belief in a huge rift was just flat out wrong.
She said the distance wasn't emotional, it was logistical.
And when you look at the facts, it makes perfect sense. Tia is in Los Angeles. She's got her career. She's parenting her kids, Cree in Cairo.
Right, a very public, very LA-centric life.
And Tamera, she's 400 miles away in Napa Valley.
A completely different universe. With her husband, Adam Housley, their kids, Aiden and Araya. It's a much more private, family-focused life.
It's not just a different zip code. That 400-mile gap means you can't just pop over for coffee. It takes real planning.
I mean, think about it. It's hard enough to coordinate with a friend who lives across town, let alone across the state with 4 kids and 2 massive careers between you.
And this brings up a really important concept, something in developmental psychology they call individuation.
Which is what, exactly?
It's the natural process where siblings, especially twins who've been linked their whole lives, have to kind of pull apart to form their own independent families and identities.
So it's not a breakdown, it's a necessary, healthy evolution.
It's essential. You have to shed that one unit identity to become your own person.
So when Tia was crying on camera, she wasn't missing her sister's love. She was missing the convenience, the spontaneous, easy access they had when they were younger.
That's it. That is the entire kernel of truth. She was mourning a phase of life that was over.
We should probably touch on the other stuff that fans were talking about because it really fueled the skepticism.
Right, because the public needed a more dramatic reason.
Mm.
On Instagram, on Reddit, you saw people pointing to their different lifestyles.
Tamera being married to a former Fox News correspondent living in Napa.
Versus Tia's post-divorce life in L.A. People tried to create this political or cultural divide between them to explain the rift.
And the sisters never commented on that part. They kept the focus entirely on the logistics of being adults.
Which was smart. They moved the conversation away from tabloid drama and towards the reality of growing up. And that reality is what led to their solution.
The secret Sunday Pact.
Yes, this is the core finding. It's a formal agreement they made to counteract the effects of their schedules and the physical distance.
And it is so fascinating because it shows just how intentional they have to be now. If you're loving these Hollywood twists, by the way, make sure you're subscribed. We've got so many more stories like this ahead.
So this pact, the commitment is to reach out at least once a week, specifically on Sunday.
Okay, but why Sunday? Is there some magic to that day?
I think so. Sunday is a reset day for most people. It's a day for family, for reflection, for getting ready for the week ahead.
So by building their check-in into that weekly reset, they're making it a priority.
It becomes an active choice, not something left to chance. And Tia made a point to say these check-ins are private. The world doesn't know about them.
Which proves it's real. It's not for show.
Exactly. It's not for Instagram. But I can hear people thinking, if you have to schedule a call with your twin, isn't the relationship kind of forced?
Yeah, isn't that the opposite of a natural bond?
It's a common thought, but analytically it's the opposite. It's what we'd call a strategic behavioral intervention.
Okay, break that down.
It just means that the existence of a formal plan is proof that the relationship is healthy and functional. It's not passively decaying.
When you lose proximity, you have to replace it with intention.
That's the perfect way to put it. And they clearly need that intention because just coordinating holidays sounds like a total nightmare for them.
They call it a puzzle. Thanksgiving, Christmas, trips to Disneyland, it's all incredibly complicated.
So they've adopted this one or the other approach. If Christmas doesn't work for everyone, they make sure to prioritize Thanksgiving. It's a mature, pragmatic way to handle it.
But the pact wasn't just talk. We'll get into the shocking twist nobody saw coming in a moment, but first, let's talk about the visual proof. The final months of 2025 gave the public everything they needed to see the bond was real.
They were very strategic about this. They followed up the interviews with visible reconnection. First up was their 47th birthday in July 2025.
And this wasn't just some quick post. It was a whole family trip. Their brothers Taj and Tavia were there. They were posting photos of camping, wine tasting.
Real quality time.
Yeah.
And Tamara's birthday message to Tia was so powerful.
Right. She didn't just say happy birthday. She praised Tia's determination to keep going and growing.
Which was a direct nod to her sister's difficult journey. It was a public acknowledgement and a statement of support. So sophisticated.
Then in October, Tamera was on the Shuri show.
And she described a trip to New York City with Tia as soulful bonding. She said it was good for our souls. Again, confirming they're carving out that private, meaningful time.
And that all led up to the big professional reunion.
The Home Goods deck, the Everything Day partnership, this was them capitalizing on that powerful nostalgia factor they have together.
Oh, it's undeniable. Tia even said people just light up when they see them together.
And doing joint interviews over Zoom for the campaign was just a simple, visual way to tell the world, hey, we're good. We're working together.
And they shared that cute little story about the family mac and cheese competition.
With their brother Tavia and Tamara's husband Adam, yeah.
It just showed that underneath all the adult logistics and separate lives, that playful, close-knit family dynamic is still there.
So when you put it all together, the final takeaway is pretty clear. The Mowry sisterhood isn't broken or deteriorating.
It's transforming.
Exactly. They've moved from a relationship based on passive proximity, living and working together constantly, to one based on active, mature choice.
They reclaimed their own stories. By defining distance as logistical and creating the Sunday Pact, they can be individuals without the public thinking it's an attack on their bond.
And that success, that individuation, brings us to a really interesting final thought for you to consider.
We know from the source material that Tia is pretty cautious about a sister-sister reboot. She said she wants to let it be, preserve the legacy.
So here's the question. Could the very success of their separate, independent adult lives, the very thing the Sunday Pact represents, be the biggest barrier to that nostalgic reboot fans want so badly?
Or Is that intentional, unbreakable Sunday connection the perfect emotional bridge they'd need to actually make a limited revival possible? Something to think about.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Janie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.